What is up, guys? It is AJ, and I am here with my man, Mike Finch. We're talking UFC Vegas 43 full card predictions and some betting tips. This is episode 1 of the Money Line. Hopefully we can make this a more consistent series. Looking forward to it. What is going on, my man, Mike?
Oh, living the dream as usual, my friend. Out here in Huntington Beach, California. Just got back from your neck of the woods, Florida. So sea to shining sea, just living it up, man. Absolutely having a blast. How you been?
Been good, man. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see you when you were near me. It was a 4-hour drive, man. The timing just didn't work out.
Hey,
Unfortunately,
it was your birthday, brother. Happy birthday.
Thank you, bro. I much
Leave
appreciate
it in the comments, guys. Happy birthday to AJ. Come on, he's giving you all these picks. Show him some love.
Thank you, brother. Much love, man. Well, we got a fun card to talk about. Not necessarily the best card, but when you look deep at it, there's fun matchups. Guys, smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn the post notifications on. We're going to start it off with the first fight of the night. It's down at the bottom, Luana Pinheiro and Sam Hughes. Mike, I got to go to you first. How you feeling about this matchup? What's your lean here?
Look, everybody's picking Luana Pinheiro. It makes sense, right? Sam Page. First off, badass nickname for Sam Hughes. Sam Page, Rampage. Come on. You got to show some HB love out here. I got Rampage out here in Huntington Beach. We got to love our own, right? Sam Page, that's badass. Sam Hughes has had better competition. And, you know, I like her ability in the clinch here. I think if she can clinch Pinheiro up, slow this fight down, she can kind of start taking it over. Everybody's picking Pinheiro in this fight. Again, 9-1 versus 5-3 makes sense. I totally get it. But I would still say there's sort of a lack of competition for the Brazilian as to where Sam Hughes, bigger amateur career, right? Really good in the clinch. I like her in this fight. I could see her eking out a decision. I think this one will be close. Definitely one that I'm not dropping a money line bet on, but I can see her pulling out a really close decision in this one. Maybe get 2 out of 3. I'll take the underdog. I'll take Hughes.
I like hearing that. I'm happy. You're on the opposite side. I guess I'm going with the masses here, man. I am going to be jumping with Luana Pinheiro. I feel like the kickboxing from range is pretty nice. Now, I will agree, right? Untested prospect, good record, but paper is really bullshit, right? We got to see her when she goes out there. I was impressed by how she was able to stay on the feet while it lasted with Ronda Marcos. I feel like her explosiveness is pretty good. Sam Hughes, gritty. I don't necessarily think Pinheiro runs her over. The odds, let me see what they're sitting at, because I know they are wide. Minus 398 plus 342. So it's like minus 400 for Pinheiro. I got Pinheiro winning by a decision. Not a money line bet I want to throw down on, but definitely I see the stylistic matchup playing her favor, a little speed advantage as well. But I could see, though, Sam Hughes in for the fight. And honestly, I feel like this is one that the odds are so nasty. And why'd you want to jump on the dog, Sam Hughes? I just wish I had more to go off of. At least you brought up some notes. I mean, she's been, fighting a while, decent amateur background. The clinch strength is a factor. If she can hold Pinheiro against the cage all night, we got a W.
I love how she uses her head, AJ. It's like Cain Velasquez used to do to guys. He'd put his forehead right underneath their chin and throw those shots over the top. Watch some of her amateur fights, man. She used to do this to a lot of different girls. I like that she's had better competition. She's been in there with Tisha Torres. She's been in there. She knows this is a must-win fight. I think the sense of urgency is going to be there on Sam Page's side.
I like it. I'm glad we disagree on this first pick. Good to hear both perspectives. It shows this card, though. I'm interested to see how we line up because there's a lot of close matches. So first one, I'm on Pinheiro. My man Mike is on Sam Hughes. Let's jump to the next fight of the night. We have matchup between, tricky name to say, but it's Shanilan Nuerdanbieke versus Sean Soriano. I'll take the gate on this one here and start it off. I like some things from Nuerdanbieke. Tricky chain wrestling style of attack. He's great in the clinch. Okay striking. I feel like Soriano's stand-up game is actually really nice. I was impressed in the Yagos fight, even though, unfortunately, it didn't go his way. He rocked Yagos bad. Powerful with the hands, closes distance fairly well. Concern could be that the pace of Nuerdanbieke with the wrestling gets to him. But I feel like Sean Soriano, I think he's like 0-4 in the UFC. I feel like now's the time. I think Lady Luck should be on his side a bit as well, but I think stylistically, I like the matchup too. I'm going Sean Soriano knockout. What are you taking on this one?
Oh man, we disagree again. Good, brother. Good. Look, Soriano's got a shot. For sure, he's got a shot with his hands. If he lets his hands go, that's the best game plan he could possibly have in this fight. Listen, it's time to shine. You got to show everybody your UFC level. That's the mindset he needs to come in here with. Hit me with that last name. You said it so well.
Nuerdanbieke.
Nuerdanbieke, big, powerful guy, relaxed enough on the feet where I think he'll kind of slip some shots, make him miss a little bit, and enough to get his grappling game off. I like that he's a little bigger, a little stronger, going to be able to bully him a little bit once they get locked up. I'm going to take the wrestler here. I'm going to say he ekes out a decision. Another close fight, and he better watch out for the power shots of Soriano, but I would say Nuerdanbieke, if I got it right, decision.
You got it. Okay, minus 265 Soriano. So you're liking that plus 241 dog. You're going dog to dog, man. You're the dog hunter. We might have a new nickname for you, Mike. Might be the dog hunter out here.
Listen. This is how I always do it, okay? Look at the whole card without the odds. Always do that first, then come in and find out what the odds are, right? Because that won't influence your opinion so much. It's pretty ridiculous how bad some odds can be. Can I give you a really quick example? Really quick.
Go for it.
In Bellator, opening the card, we had Mahmoud Sebi, an Olympic wrestler. We're talking Bellator last Friday, right? He's fighting this kid who's 2-0. I believe it was a 1,400 favorite. I mean, absolutely ridiculous, right? He got TKO'd. He got finished. So it's like you can't go off of odds, man. You always have to look at it first without the odds, just so it doesn't cloud your judgment, you know? That's what I think.
No, I think you're right. I think that the odds can definitely sway us. I will say, I think the odds should be more like minus 150 Soriano, maybe. I really like the stand-up game. Could be a bias because I know he trains alongside with the team, you know, down in South Florida. Mike Chandler and him have worked together and whatnot. I like the striking. I feel like he's seen good looks in the wrestling room, and I feel like he'll be able to defend it off. But I will say, Nuerdanbieke, if he went out there and beat Sean Soriano, I'm not going to be sitting here shocked. I mean, Soriano's done terrible in the UFC so far, outside of good moments.
Agreed.
Well, we got to keep on jumping. We got more fights to talk about. The next fight of the night, Cody Durden versus Aori Qileng. I'll let you lead this one off. Interesting fight here.
It is. You know, Qileng Aori has been in Vegas training for this one, which I like, right? I like that he's already out there. No big travel, I think two of the most underrated things are time out of the ring and then the actual traveling, right? The jet lag and all the bullshit people deal with. I really think that's an advantage that he went out there. It's very smart for him to be in Vegas. Cody Durden, though, very tough customer. I think Cody Durden could win this fight anywhere. I really like the well-roundedness that Cody Durden's going to bring. He's a big guy, powerful guy. 11-3 versus 18-8. I mean, on paper, that has to jump out at you. Although Aori's had some good competition, I got to go Cody Durden in this fight. He could finish this many different ways. I'm just going to be safe. I'll go decision.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I feel like Durden probably with a more grinding wrestling approach. If he went out there, put Aori in bad spots, beats him up on the ground, I could see a rear naked choke maybe opening up, but don't want to like jump too crazy with that. I'm on it, dude. I'm with you. I think you totally summarized this fight great. I think Aori's a fun guy to watch. I'd rather see him versus strikers. They're throwing him a tough wrestler here, man. And, you know, I don't think he stops the takedown consistently enough. I'll go Durden for a win decision. I do want to look at the odds here because it opened up about pick'ems now, minus 150 Durden. You're getting plus 140 range for Aori. Looking at the prop too, I do want to just quickly look at it. If potentially there was some money to be made, fight goes the distance, minus 175. I don't know. I think that's fairly likely in this spot. Durden decision plus 150. But if you were to get the sub, this would be a real stretch. It's plus 600. And we got to talk good value because that's some damn good value. Maybe
I like that.
Maybe a sprinkle.
I like that. No, that makes perfect sense. And listen, he might be able to get some stuff done with his hands because of the threat of the wrestling, right? He gets some work done with his hands. That's all going to open up. The more the damage accumulates, who knows how it ends. A lot of times, guys who have some success with their hands, who are the better grapplers, it actually ends via rear naked choke or something, right? Even though they get it done with ground and pound, they're going to find the rear naked choke. I like that breakdown. That's a good one.
That's a real Mystic Mac style pick right there. All right, we got more. We got more action. The next fight of the night, 55.
Good fight. Good fight.
I have to say some things about this one. Terrance McKinney versus Ziam is a fight to be excited about. McKinney brings in a dynamic kickboxing game, but more so with the explosiveness and power. I feel like the athleticism will be there for him in that edge, speed too. But Ziam's rangy and technical. I feel like he's pretty good with his combination striking from range. You saw that loss to Don Madge, I believe, and that was a lot of clinch grappling. McKinney's not looking for that. He's a knockout guy. His last 4 wins, KO. I got Terrance McKinney winning, but I'm going to go decision. The threat of the power leads to Ziam's activity being lower and him working towards a decision. How are you feeling about this one?
Well, a good point here is actually Terrance McKinney's a wrestler. I know he's been letting his hands go. I know he's super fast and he likes finishing people. Look at his last few fights. He's been laying people out. He's been getting the finishes, but he's actually a wrestler. And the best thing Terrance McKinney can do in this fight is dust that wrestling off, because he's up against a K1 champion. I mean, Ziam is very, very good at movement and kicks. And if he could just move around that cage, right, and land those kicks over and over again, he's going to have a lot of success. Now, here's a little secret for those betting who don't realize where this fight is taking place. This is at the apex, the little cage, okay? And when you put fighters in the little cage, they have a little more trouble moving around. There's a size difference there, right? I do believe that size difference of the cage does have an impact, and especially an advantage for Terrance McKinney. Terrance is going to be closer, so he can land his hands better, and he'll be able to get a hold of Firas a little bit better. Look, Ziam, I do like a lot. I do think people are sleeping on him. He's got really, really good kickboxing. Overall, he's been trying to out-wrestle these grapplers his whole career, so he's pretty damn good on the fence, pretty good at getting up, fending off takedowns. I got to take the momentum of Terrance McKinney. And listen, the kid's been finishing people. I could see him doing it again. Will it be with his hands? Maybe not. Maybe it's a submission this time. I was actually looking back at Terrance's old fights, and he's been triangled before. He's been caught himself. So he's one of those guys who I don't think is going to go on a 10-fight win streak. I really do think that there are vulnerabilities there to be exposed. I don't think Saturday night's the night for that. I'm going to take Terrance McKinney with a finish. I don't know if it'll be knockout or sub. I just think the kid's coming and he's hunting. And that's going to lead him to find something.
You like that inside the distance on that one.
Yeah,
Just potentially
agreed.
getting it done inside. Yeah, I really think that's possible. I feel like this is a good fight, man. And, we see this, though. Some wrestlers really fall in love with the striking and then run themselves into trouble. Ziam, if he's able to just get going, maybe McKinney doesn't threaten with any takedowns, we might be looking at a different fight, especially in the 30-foot octagon. But 25-foot, pressure by McKinney. If he mixes in a bit of wrestling, I think this really could be his breakthrough performance. I don't know, like, as you said, he's got some losses, so I don't know about like long stay potential as a real contender, but he's a fun prospect. Plus 100 for McKinney straight as an underdog, very slight money dog. Inside the distance, McKinney plus 145. So some decent value there. If you're looking to bet this one up, definitely some value on that inside the distance play at that plus 145.
Love the fight. Hey, the UFC's got balls for throwing McKinney right in there with Ziam. I think they should invest in Terrance McKinney. I think he's a potential star. The kid's a great athlete. So it's a pretty stiff competition right out of the gate.
They're not giving him any favors, man. They're saying, listen, bro, you want to fight for the UFC? You're fighting another prospect. We'll throw you right to it.
That's what they're doing, man. Hey, that 1-2 he landed was money. That was really quick. I want to see what his hands look like now. I want to see what he's going to look like against a real world-class striker in Ziam.
I'm excited. It's a good one, man. And it's good that we're both on the same side for at least a couple here. This next one, I'm curious to see where we go. Loma Lookboonmee, Lupita Godinez. How you feeling about this fight?
Man, with Godinez taking the fight on short notice, that's one that throws a monkey wrench in it for me, because I would go with Godinez, but taking a fight like this on short notice, it's going to be a lot tougher. Both of these girls 6-2. I think this is another competitive one. Maybe flip a coin on this one. My instinct right away was to say that Lupita would get this done. I like her. I think that overall she could just eke out the rounds, being a better mixed martial artist overall. I'm going to go Godinez. Let's go with like split decision. How about that? What say you, AJ?
I'm going to go the opposite side. I'm going to go Lookboonmee decision. I think that her explosiveness is a factor, potentially having a speed edge, striking. In the clinch, I feel like Lookboonmee, not nearly as technically sound with the wrestling, but strength is there. Thai experience is there. I feel like she'll be able to fend off some of Lupi's attacks, but not an easy fight. I like Godinez, obviously too, with some attributes that you said, the wrestling, the way she can just grind girls out. I feel like Lookboonmee, though, tricky step to take, especially short notice. Granted, Godinez is fighting every damn month. She's fighting all the time. She's becoming the female cowboy over here. Getting a win would be huge for a resume, really pumps her career going. But I think that Lookboonmee slows it down, winning a hard-fought decision. I think it's a close one. I could see split as well on that one. It's super competitive.
We disagree again. There we go. Hey, Godinez is the female Hamzat. All right, get it right. That's we go.
Listen, look at the odds right here for this one. You're looking at about plus 150 for Lookboonmee as a dog, minus 155 for Godinez. Looking at the props on this one, like the fight goes the distance, there's no value. It's minus 280. You're not going to throw that much change at it. It's women's MMA. And we know with these ladies, the craziest of things tends to happen.
That being said, I usually have more luck betting on women's fights. Really? Just in history, first fight I ever bet on was a Jessica I fight. Sarah Kaufman, Jessica I, Sarah Kaufman won me $50. I was like a teenager at the time, right? And then, overall, I generally find that it's a little bit easier with the girls. Look, I look at it like, if you're the state wrestling champion of Rhode Island, you're not going to be as good as the state wrestling champion of California. 100,000 people who want to be number one versus, 10,000 people want to be number one. That's the way I see women's MMA. We're in those early years still where the skill gap can be pretty extreme, right?
Yeah.
This is not a case of that, but there's a lot of that in women's MMA. When Valentina Shevchenko fights somebody, you'll see some skill gaps.
You'll see some serious skill gaps. It tends to be pretty one-sided when she's in there. But I'm going to keep on running up the card. We'll get to the next one, and it's one I have been back and forth on. It's Rafa García, Natan Levy. I dug for footage on Levy. I wanted to look back at some of the older fights. Some tendencies I'm not liking with Natan Levy, and he's a real prospect, undefeated. I saw him win, on the Contender Series against Santana. Chin is a bit high. At times, striking will be out of range and out of position, which I think that could be a tricky factor against a guy, Rafa García, not necessarily known as like a one-touch knockout artist, but he's a powerhouse. He is jacked. He has good wrestling, good forward pressure. The disappointing fight against Grutzmacher, let's throw that out the window. I think Rafa García is better than that. I think he could hurt Natan Levy and knock him out. I'm going to go Rafa García. I'm going to go KO. I'm leading KO. Could see the distance decision, but I'm going to go Rafa. I've been all over the place on this one. Originally, I picked Natan Levy, but the more I look into it, I got to go my man, Rafa García. It's tricky, though. Tricky one. What do you want here?
Agreed, it is tricky, but look, García 0-2 in the UFC. I like the undefeated prospect. Here's something to remember, that Levy's battling with an injury. He's coming back from injuries, right? He had a couple canceled bouts there. It's always tough when guys have layoffs. We actually talked about this off air. When you come back off of a long layoff, it's hard to get your timing down. It's hard to get everything going. Why don't I care about that in this fight? Because of the grappling. I think Levy is going to be able to get on top of him and get that submission. I'm going to go Levy with a head and arm choke, first or second round.
Wow, that's ballsy. I like it, man. I like it. Hey, listen, Natan Levy's here to go. I think Rafa García brings it. I think we got a real interesting fight. I guess I need to see one more from Levy to be fully sold. And I'm like, Rafa García is selling me a bit. But let's look at the odds here, because there's definitely some value. I mean, the odds are pretty competitive. Minus 115 García, plus 108 Natan Levy. Looking at some of the props that you could play, if you went Levy wins by submission, you're looking at plus 435. You go García knockout, plus 525. Either side that you're on, if there was a finish by either of those methods, you're getting some beautiful plus money back at you. Granted, we're hypothesizing here. We might be looking at a boring decision. We don't truly know. We don't got the crystal ball, but
this is not financial advice.
All right. We have the featured prelim coming up next. Tucker Lutz versus Pat Sabatini. Mike, what you thinking about this?
Man, I like Tucker Lutz. I do. But Pat Sabatini, He's training with Sean Brady. I'm just feeling that team in this one, man. Oh man, I already gave away my next pick. I'm feeling that team on this one. I really think they're going to come in here and they're going to put on a show. This is the breakout moment for Brady and Sabatini. I'm going to go with Sean Brady in this one. Really hard for me to pick a finish on this one. I think this is a competitive fight. Tucker Lutz is huge. Tucker Lutz is very hard to bully in that cage. So let's go with a decision. I like Sean Brady in this one. I think these guys are going to come in on fire and you're going to see career performances. It's going to start off with Pat Sabatini.
All right. Let's see, man. We'll see where it goes. I feel like Pat Sabatini's tricky, man. I think the high-level jiu-jitsu game is going to impress. But I will note with you, Lutz, underrated wrestler. He has a wrestling background. Brandon, right. I think Sabatini bit better offensively. Lutz, the better striker. For sure, the better striker. I'm concerned that Sabatini will find ways to enter the pocket and land takedowns here. Even if it's not like super successful, we get to dominant position takedowns, just that constant threat, maybe some cage control. If Sabatini has a chance to lock up a sub, I'm impressed by his jiu-jitsu, but I am thinking decision. I'm on Sabatini wins by decision on the opposite side of you, man. I don't think Brady's young protege teammate gets it done here, but we'll see. Lutz is 12-1 and he's on a 12-fight win streak. So you can't shame the guy there. I mean, he's got crazy momentum on his side.
Absolutely. Both of them have some decent competition too. And Lutz is going to be hard to deal with in the grappling department. No question. I love that fight. Tough fight to pick. Not one I'm going money line on.
Dude, this card is all tough fights to pick. It's all competitive. They're throwing even bouts. It's crazy though. Some of the odds though are just atrocious. Now go. No. What you got to say, man?
I was just gonna say the next fight. Finally, I get a little bit of confidence. All right,
go ahead. Great. Before you get the next fight, I want to give some odds real quick. For this one here, Sabatini slight favorite, -128. Lutz +120. Like Sabatini decision. Mike likes Lutz decision. Fight goes the distance, -150. Maybe that's the true play of the day right there for that one, because that could potentially happen, because I really could see us looking at 3 rounds regardless of the outcome. But we'll go to the main card. Smash the like button if you guys have not yet. This first fight on the main card is one to talk about. It's one to get excited about. And I am going to let you lead it off because I want to hear your take.
Hey. Look, who doesn't like watching Davey Grant fight? I mean, the dude has balls, man. The guy gets in scraps. He's super fun to watch. You know, he's one of those guys where when he's coming up to fight, I'm not going to the bathroom. I'm sitting down. I'm enjoying my time. The guy likes to go toe to toe. They don't make him tougher than Davey Grant. With that being said, he's up against a kid who has a speed advantage on him, and I really think that can come into play when they start going fisticuffs, okay? I think that Adrian Yanez, this is going to be a big standout moment for him against Davey Grant. I like him in this fight. I really think they're going to strike. I think they're going to stay on the feet. They're going to go toe-to-toe, and this is going to be one of those fight of the night type performances, unless he could put Davey Grant away. That's a tough task. Davey Grant's a tough dude. That guy's got a rock head. You could hit him with a shovel. He's probably still going to keep throwing punches at you. However, Yanez with the speed advantage, I feel like he gets it done. Yanez lost his coach due to COVID, which is really tough, man. So where is his head at coming into this? You know, that really throws like some monkey wrenches into my confidence in betting on him in this fight. But I like Yanez, and this is one of my more confident picks. I would say Yanez is going to outstrike him in this fight, and we're going to see one more level. That Yanez is just on another level from Grant when it comes to being dynamic, being quick, being first, using his jab, and he's going to put that 2 down the pipe as well. I think he's going to tag Grant up, could get a late finish in this one. That'll be a fun fight.
I'm pumped. And I am so torn on this one because there are things I'm liking from Davey Grant when I film study. Good pressure. Hittable, yes, because if you notice when he enters the pocket, he has this stance shift that he likes to do. If Yanez steps back, times him, I think he could put him down with a big shot. My concern is, can Yanez deal with that pressure from Davey Grant, mixing it up with the hands? I think he needs to take notes from Costa. The jab really was working nicely in that first round for Costa. Granted, you know, Randy Costa kind of spammed it, and then Yanez was able to catch on to the game. If Davey Grant can methodically break down Yanez, fight this fight behind an educated jab, be strong in the clinch, slow it down a bit. Because when he gets inside, I don't think he should look to mix it up and brawl with Yanez. Because as you said, the speed edge is evident. Footwork, faster, power, advantage Yanez. But durability, I got to go with my man, Davey Grant, by an upset by a decision. I'm going crazy.
Oh!
I'm going nuts.
Whoa. All right. Hey,
I'm blowing the roof off the gas.
This one. I like this one. We're going to Venmo bet on this one.
We might have to. Dude, honestly, though, like it's tricky for me, though. I will say, like, I'm only Venmo betting you if I'm getting the plus money odds for Davey Grant. I'm not money lining it, man. Because right now he's a big underdog. And I feel like it's tricky, man. This is not one that I'm like supreme confident dog. You're looking at plus 245, plus 250, Yanez minus 278. Potential prop, Yanez, if he was able to get the KO, you're looking at just plus 110. But if Grant on the opposite side won a decision, it's plus 475. So little something money-wise to note. Value side of betting is Davey Grant. But I definitely could see Yanez winning here. And I mean, I'll be honest, regardless of what I just said, pick-wise, I'm rooting for Adrian Yanez. I'm a fan of him. I like his style. I'm just concerned. Is he ready yet for that Davey Grant jump? I wish they would have just gave him one more test fight, one more lighter test. Because, I mean, Grant's been in there with some savages.
That's true. Grant has been in there with some savages, but it's also tape to watch, AJ. It's like when you're fighting, it's so nice to be able to get all this footage and all these rounds. And when I watch Grant fight, I just understand it. And I think Yanez is doing the same thing. He's watching Grant fight, and it's somebody he could really prepare for. There's not a lot of, like when you fight AJ McKee, to throw a Bellator reference in, when you fight AJ McKee, you don't know what the hell he's going to do. Is he going to shoot on you? Is he going to spin, jump? I don't know. When you're fighting Davey Grant, I think you got a pretty good idea. I think Yanez is going to come in confident, man. I think you're going to see his best form.
I like the Yanez pick, man. I'm glad somebody's picking Yanez for me, man. Even though I'm the wild man on Davey Grant, man. I might be a genius or I might be a moron. We will find out on fight night. Now, the next one, ladies, Joanne Calderwood, JoJo takes on Taila Santos. I feel like the matchup here really favors Taila. She's a pretty athletic girl with a strong grappling base when she gets on top, but also smooth Thai style of striking. I feel like JoJo Calderwood, I don't know if she's just like a step behind. Granted, the Lauren Murphy fight could have went her way, but this matchup is tricky against a new breed girl, 28 years of age, 18-1. I like JoJo, some attributes. I've been a fan of JoJo since the tough days, but I think that Taila Santos can put it on her, win by decision, some potential wrestling exchanges, some top control, maybe some better combination striking. I'm going to go Taila Santos wins by a decision here.
Tough call for me. Hey, Joanne who? Joanne
Wood.
That's right. She married her coach.
You're right. We got to change it to. It's so funny, right? Calderwood to Wood, man. That's just ironic as hell.
That's smooth. I like that. You just kind of shrink it down. It's a little bit shorthand. I like it. If you look at this fight on paper, you would totally think Taila Santos 18-1 versus 15-6, right? Then you start digging into the details, and it's like JoJo's fought everybody. JoJo was right up there on the brink of being able to fight Shevchenko in that last fight with Lauren Murphy, right? Very close split decision. I mean, you could see that fight going either way. She's been up there with the best girls in the division, or right up there anyway in the top contender mix. She's, I'd hate to call her a gatekeeper because that's what people get labeled right around that area, but she is in the realm of that conversation. Will Taila Santos be able to pass through that gate? I don't know. There's a lot of question marks there, right? I like Joanne Wood, formerly Calderwood, in this fight. I think she's been fighting much better competition. I think this could be a nice little upset win for her, and it'll put her right back on track. She's right there at the top of the division. With that being said, this is a really big test for Taila Santos, and if she's going to make a splash, this is what we need to see. This is the fight we need to see from her. What does she do when she deals with a much more veteran fighter like JoJo? Really love this matchup. I have no idea who's going to win, so just for the sake of disagreeing with you, let's go JoJo decision.
I like it. I'm glad we got the disagreement going, man. If we just said the same pick for every fight, like, what do we need two opinions here? Yeah, I like that, man. I'm interested in it. I'm intrigued by it. I want to see it. And honestly, maybe I have a bias towards wanting Taila Santos to win, but granted, I do think she will, not just bias in the pick, but I do want her to win because I need new blood for Shevchenko. I need somebody to come out the woodwork and say, I can beat this girl. I don't think Taila Santos does. I don't think she has a shot, but
this is Santos's moment. This is Santos's moment to do that. If she goes out there and wins by knockout or submission, that is exactly what the division needs. 100%. You couldn't hit the nail on the head more. The division needs some excitement because the champions in the women's divisions, let's be honest, they are sitting on Mount Everest and they don't see any competition nearby, right? So this is a big deal for the division. The division should want a Santos victory.
The odds too for this fight are super widespread. -300, +299. It's Santos as a massive favorite, which just makes it really unappetizing from a bettor's perspective. Because as you said, unproven. You're picking JoJo for a reason. I think fight goes the distance, but it's -270 for that. Value isn't great. Santos wins by a decision, which would be where I lean. -130, not touching it, but Calderwood wins by decision, +420. So I guess could be a little something right there. You're from Cali, 420, beautiful number. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe you're onto something, man. It's some magic going behind the scenes, bro.
That's right. Yeah, California knows all about that magic 420. Yes, sir. This is the best weed in the country, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go. Well, the featured bout of the night, Hanayaya Qileng. Give me your pick, bro. Who you thinking? Where do you like? Where do you lean?
Man, I would like, I say Kang. Is that correct?
Kang. I might have a speech impediment, so I say Kang, but it's Kang. It might be Kang.
White? Am I too white to say Kang?
No. It's not. You're good. Kang, Qileng. It's close. We're close, man. Somebody's got it.
I'm going Kang, but look, he's had a long layoff. I don't like that. I think 2019 is his last fight. You look like you're on your computer. Is that right?
Yeah, I can pull it up if you need. Yeah, I have it right here.
Thank you. Yeah. I wish I'd pull mine
up. A year and 10 months ago. Yeah, so 2019, bro.
That's a long layoff, man. We keep coming back to this conversation, but it's like, dude, when you have a layoff like that, it's tough to come back and get your timing back in the UFC, especially against Hanayaya, who, let's be honest, pretty average in the UFC. Hanayaya has been win-loss, not another one of those who keep the gate, but Kang coming off of that long layoff, that just makes it so I don't want to bet on it, but I'm gonna go Kang. I like him in this fight. I think it's gonna be a very competitive fight, so I want to stay away from picking any finishes or anything like that. Let's go with Kang with a close decision.
Yeah, I think that's a fair pick. I've been torn on this one, but I'm actually jumping on the Kang train. Continue to look into this fight more, because originally I was like, man, can Yaya potentially clinch up, get it to the ground, work his submissions? But man, Kang is hard to get a hold of. The guy's slick with his kickboxing. He's damn fast. He's got a range advantage. And let's look deeper at the resume of Hanayaya. Yeah, honestly, he was on a roll from 2017 to 2018. He picked up 3 wins. Then you lost to Ricky Simon, draw against Enrique Barzola, in a win against Ray Rodriguez. The win against Rodriguez, to me, doesn't mean a ton. I don't think he's, that top line in the UFC. I believe it was his debut coming in, or very close to it. Let me just double check that. It was his second fight in the UFC, sophomore appearance. And then you look, the Barzola draw, not great. He's nearly 37 years of age. The wins haven't been against great competition. I think Qileng beats him by a decision here. I'm going to be with you, man. I'm going to have to join you on the team Qileng for the win.
Let's go. Welcome aboard.
I'm glad. Now, odds for this one, we do got to bring them up. Pretty much pick them. -112 in favor of Kang, +102 for Yaya. I think we're looking at 3 rounds of work here. I don't necessarily think Yaya can wrap up a sub on the bigger Qileng. If he does, though, we'll talk about the odds of that. Yaya wins by a submission is at +315. Qileng wins by a decision, which is more where I would go, +215. Fight goes the distance, though, is where the money's to be made. -120, and I think we're going the distance. -120. That's the touch I like there. Pretty decent.
Agreed, man. Kang's got to be active on the feet. I want to see him throwing a lot. As long as he can be active, as long as he finds some timing, I think he's got this one.
Yeah, I'm with you. We're on the same team here. Now, co-main event time. Michael Chiesa versus Sean Brady. I know you're hype on somebody in this matchup, so I am going to give you the mic. We're going to lead it off with you on this one. Let's hear it.
Let me take the microphone. Let me tell you guys, this is the Sean Brady show, okay? This is Sean Brady's coming out party. This is how you stop the beast of a black belt of Sean Brady. You got to hit him with a right hand. I keep seeing the way he throws his jab and his lead hook. It just looks like you can come over the top with a right hand. Guess who's not the man for the job? Michael Chiesa. I don't think Chiesa is a good stylistic matchup against Brady. Brady is the stronger of the two. The last time I definitively said that with a stronger grappler against Chiesa, it was Kevin Lee, and Kevin Lee strangled him. All right. So I really like the black belt for Sean Brady. I love the undefeated record, but more than anything, I really think he's going to be able to neutralize the skills of Michael Chiesa. Chiesa does best, we all know, hitting double leg takedowns, getting people's backs, out grappling them, outworking them, being the bigger man. He is taller. He does have a longer reach, but I don't think he's going to be able to be as physically strong as Brady is. For Brady, this is the time for him to make a name for himself. I think he does that, and I'm confident in this one. I'm gonna go with the Brady finish, man. As good as Chiesa is on the ground, he's got some holes in his game. Let's find a Brady strangle here. I'm gonna say maybe round 3. He gets some punches through, wraps that neck up for the dub.
Okay. So this one's tricky for me, man, because I was looking towards the Kevin Lee reference. And when I watch Sean Brady's wrestling, I don't necessarily see the same level of speed on the takedowns. The level changes. I don't know if he's necessarily as good offensively with the wrestling. Jiu-jitsu, very good. Striking, another thing I'm not loving with Sean Brady is, as you said, there's hit abilities there. Of course. Who do they give him? The Scarecrow, Michael Chiesa, who's not necessarily known for hands. It doesn't have great boxing, is okay with the stand-up. I might be a wild man, but I think there is a game plan for Michael Chiesa to be had to surprise Sean Brady. I believe if you look at Sean Brady, some of the matchups, he can get caught up in playing that Tyron Woodley game where he runs across the fence, but he doesn't have that fight stopper power. So I feel like, what if Chiesa can double jab his way in, work towards cage control, and you're looking at a slow, grind-heavy 3 rounds of back and forth tilts with the grappling? Even though strength might be in favor of Brady, would the leverage of Michael Chiesa potentially being taller have a difference in the clinch? Maybe. I've tried as hard as I could to pick Sean Brady here, man. I was looking at, I'm like, come on, give me something, Sean. I'm going Michael Chiesa wins by decision.
Woo!
I'm going the opposite side.
Let me unveil a truth of myself. I like to pick against Chiesa. I have never been a Chiesa believer. Like every now and then, you know, like you're like, all right, he beats Dos Anjos. Yeah, that makes sense, or whatever it is, right? But I've picked against Chiesa a few times, man, and I've been right sometimes, I've been wrong other times. So, take it with a grain of salt. I am somewhat of a Chiesa hater. I don't know why. Not a bad guy. Dude took some glass from the Conor McGregor freaking throwing the dolly through the bus. Like, hey, I should feel bad for the guy. No, I just pick against them all the time. So remember that before you go put the house on this one. I do believe that when they clinch up, though Chiesa is the taller guy, Brady is going to be able to get a hold of his body. And if Brady can just get a hold of his hips, I think everything from that point on is going to be in Brady's game. What Chiesa would want to do 100%, you're right, is jack up an underhook, right? Use some controlling moments there. And even if he can't completely impose his will in the grappling, do it like Randy Couture used to do it. Randy Couture couldn't necessarily completely out-wrestle everybody, but all he needs is one underhook, and he has enough control to start going to work, knee in your legs, hitting you, maybe a quick takedown. These things win rounds, man. They've only got 5 minutes, so you win the majority of that round. The striking's kind of close. Yeah, Chiesa could come out with this one. I can see what you're saying 100%. I have to go with the top game of Brady. I feel like when Brady gets on top of Chiesa, that'll spell real disaster for Chiesa.
I agree that it could. If Sean Brady can get to dominant position, we've seen Chiesa break. And that's something that I will say concerns me. From a betting perspective wise, if you wanted to throw down on this one, you're hearing two opposite sides to the equation here. Michael Chiesa's plus 140, but he's let us down in the past. Brady minus 154. Not necessarily loving this one. Maybe you lean, fight goes the distance, but you got Sean Brady winning. Now, if you were going to prop up Sean Brady, you're going submission or you're going TKO, or you want to just go inside distance?
Look, it's so hard with the submission or knockout thing, because if I have somebody's back, which I think this is what's going to happen. I think he's going to get on top of Chiesa. I think he's going to pass Chiesa's guard, maybe slowly, carefully, right? And once he gets to a dominant position, he might be looking for ground and pound, and maybe the rear naked choke's there. Maybe he keeps punching. It's like I'm pretty sure of what's going to happen, but those two finishes, it's tough to tell somebody, yeah, go all in submission, and then he's going to TKO him, you know? So I like money line bets. I'm going money line Brady all day. And you've said Chiesa's let you down in the past. Brady never has he?
Okay, he hasn't. You're right. He's undefeated. He's perfect so far. The prop, and let's say you did go inside the distance, just for the people, plus 170, around that range, Brady inside the distance. If you're feeling that, not a bad bet either. Minus 150 straight on Sean Brady. We've arrived at the main event. Smash that like button to everybody tuning in. Subscribe if you're new. And let's talk this main event, because it's kind of a tricky one to call, because you look at Miesha Tate, I feel like she looked a lot better against Marion Renaud than we've seen from her in the past. The hands look faster. Boxing looked cleaner in the past. I felt like her head was just so stationary. Seemed just a little bit better movement. The wrestling's always going to be tricky. Ketlen Vieira, though, beastly with the Muay Thai. Good straight punches, mixes it up well inside. Physically, a strong, big girl with nice jiu-jitsu. I feel like the gas tank of Ketlen Vieira can be a concern. Miesha Tate, I believe, will be prepared for a 5-round fight. And I believe she's going to fight with a tactical game plan towards that. I think Vieira can steal the first two. Tate takes 3, 4, 5. I'll go Miesha Tate wins by a decision. What you feeling on this one?
Man, yeah, tough one, man. We were saying before we went live, I've been going back and forth on this all day, trying to really dig up and try to find out what version of Miesha Tate are we seeing here. And I rewatched her fight again. And yes, she was moving pretty well and putting things together. But this is a big step up in competition. You know, this is a lot different. You know, she's not fighting a woman who's about to retire. She's fighting a woman who wants to be world champion. And, you know, it's an important moment for Vieira. I mean, Vieira, to me, has looked real good on the ground. Like when she gets a hold of these girls, these head and arm chokes she's hitting these girls with, you know, Sarah McMahon, let's be honest, has been submitted a few times in the UFC. But for her to finish it from half guard, I think it was half guard on the opposite side. Am I tripping? She didn't have complete control on the head and arm choke. When you finish a head and arm choke and it's up here, you want to be on the opposite side of the person. All I can remember is she was not. She had an angle, and maybe it was one arm. I mean, it was incredible how much power and squeeze she was able to get on that head and arm choke. She's dangerous on the ground. This is no joke for Miesha Tate. How does Miesha Tate beat girls? She does it by being a better grappler. She's always done that, you know, since the Strikeforce days. I've been watching Miesha Tate fight since the Strikeforce days. I interviewed her before she fought Ronda Rousey the first time in Strikeforce, you know, so I've been watching Miesha Tate her whole career. I really think that this is a funky matchup for her, because she might not be able to out wrestle and out grapple this girl. And that's the well that Miesha Tate has always been able to go to when things get tough. Super tough fight for me to pick, but I have to start thinking about who's going to win the striking between these two. I think Vieira is actually real patient. She has a great team behind her. Andre Pederneiras is her coach. Andre Pederneiras is the creator of Jose Aldo and Renan Barão and all of these phenomenal strikers. I think they're going to be damn prepared, man. Big moment for Vieira here. I'm going to go with her. I'm going to say she scores the upset over Tate, and maybe she might even do it on the ground. But a 5-round fight between these two, this thing could finish, man. Here's one thing I'll say about Tate. Tate is tough. She is hard to finish. I mean, if you remember when Ronda Rousey was running through every girl in like 30 seconds, she was breaking people's arms and chucking them through the air. Miesha Tate gave her hell. And that was, trust me, prime Ronda Rousey. We went a couple rounds, you know, it was a lot of fun. So, and she had to get her arm broken in that first fight, if you remember, in Strikeforce to be able to tap. So very tough girl to finish, but I think Vieira has the potential to get it done, even shockingly. I mean, some people are going to hate this, but even by submission.
I mean, it could happen. You know, Miesha Tate has always struggled with pressure. You look at girls that if you're able to bully Miesha Tate, your odds of winning skyrocket. If Vieira can do that with the hands, start picking her up. And you know, Miesha Tate don't like when that nose gets cracked. She starts, you remember that fight against Nunes when she got hit, you could tell everything froze up. It was over from there. If Vieira can maybe copy a bit of that game plan, I think she could get it done. As I'm talking, you're selling me on Vieira here. I call this a coin flip fight. Either side that you're on could end up coming through, but Vieira as an underdog value-wise would be more so the touch. So as a betting man, we look at it, Vieira, actually crazy enough, the odds have officially shifted. Vieira now a minus 110 favorite. That's crazy.
Ooh.
We're getting plus money on Miesha Tate. A lot of people are seeing the possibility. I want to look at Vieira wins inside the distance because that's maybe something. Plus 270 if she were to get it by TKO or submission. For Tate, wins by a decision, plus 210. I personally don't like touching the line on Miesha Tate. She came back and looked good, but yeah, I mean, we're talking levels to the game. Miesha Tate fighting Marion Renaud, who's 50 years old, 43, but you know what I'm saying. She's on that way, you know, versus fighting a damn hungry Brazilian, and Brazilians might have the number of Miesha Tate. So we'll see on that one. Overall, it's a fun card, man.
It is, brother. It is definitely. Look, Miesha Tate is supposed to win this fight. I mean, let's be honest. Miesha Tate is supposed to win this fight. She's supposed to go on and challenge for the title again. She's a big name. It would make a lot of sense for the organization. She's a beautiful woman. They've got a lot of history with her coaching The Ultimate Fighter and the whole history, you know, so she's supposed to win this fight, right? It makes sense. When you're Vieira and you're standing across the cage from Miesha Tate, that's got to do something to you mentally. You're like, wow, here's a girl at the top of the game. It feels like fresh out of a video game or virtual reality, right? There she is standing across from me. That could really affect some people mentally, right? This is the biggest fight of Vieira's life. You can't say that for Miesha Tate. Miesha Tate's had plenty of fights where she's headlined, right? She's been doing that since those Strikeforce days. I just feel like the timing is right for Vieira. I think Tate could have used one more warm-up fight. She didn't get it. You know, tough freaking call, man. I love the matchup. I'll definitely be enjoying my popcorn watching this one.
It's a great fight. It's a fun card. When you first see it, you see Miesha Tate at times, you say, what is this card? What are we doing here? You look through it, you see some excellent matches, some fun fights, some potential bets to make. This is the money line. So what I need is your money line play. What is it?
Woo! Money line play. You got the Michael Chiesa hater right here. I'm going in on Sean Brady. All day we're going Sean Brady. Michael Chiesa. He needs to be able to outstrike this guy. I don't think he gets it done. I'm going Brady with this one. Just straight up money line. I don't know how he gets it done, guys. He just gets it done.
Well, if I'm going money line, I'm going Terrance McKinney. I think that he will find a way to beat Faraz Ziam. As we mentioned, there's maybe some wrestling that could come into play, but the power to me is a difference maker, man. You look at Chaos Williams, Miguel Baeza. Miguel Baeza is a technician. He's crisp. Power makes a difference. You look in boxing, granted, this is not boxing, but Deontay Wilder is able to threaten these guys who are superior technicians by big power. I think Terrance McKinney will not be as crisp and technical as Faraz Ziam striking. But if he touches the chin, Faraz feels the shot coming the opposite way. I don't necessarily see the same result. My money line is Terrance McKinney.
Woo, there it is, ladies and
That's
gentlemen.
fun.
Listen, I was razor close to picking Yanez for my money line. Could not decide between those two guys. That's another good bet. In my humble opinion, not financial advice, my humble opinion, I like Yanez against Grant too. Those are the only fights where I could actually go to sleep thinking, okay, I gave them a good pick. I really thought about it and gave them a good pick. Every other fight on this card, they're good matchups, man. The matchmakers at the UFC know what they're doing. There's a reason why these odds are so close.
It's going to be a great card, man. I'm looking forward to it. For everybody tuning in, much love. Smash the likes. Subscribe if you're new. Mike, let us know. Where do we find you?
Hey, Mike Finch MMA on Instagram. You guys can check out my channel on YouTube /Mike Finch. If you just type in Mike Finch MMA, you'll see me pop up. I've got the Mike Finch Show, interviewed James Gallagher. It was a lot of fun. Already have done some Shane Burgos stuff. Actually, I'm rocking my Shane Burgos shirt here. Shout out to my longtime friend, Shane Burgos, who just picked up that dub. Congratulations to him, man. I've known him since we were like 10 years old. So pretty freaking cool cool to see him in the UFC doing his thing, and got to represent my guy. Guys, please check out my channel. You guys can check out my stuff. I've got some stuff coming up. I'm picking up a couple new opportunities here where we're going to go interview some people. I'm not going to let any details out, but they're going to be so fun. It's going to be such good content all on the way, guys. Please check it out. Mike Finch on YouTube. And AJ, shout out to you, man. You run the best MMA picks in the game right now. You keep it real, totally unbiased. What an honor to come on, man. Thank you.
Thank you, bro. And I expect you to be back. Expect this man to be back. The Moneyline show, I want to see it a consistent thing. Hopefully we can do it every week. We'll definitely try to schedule some things out to make it happen. Maybe even we'll get Shane Burgos to guest on if you're really boys with him. I mean, the people would love to see it. We'll see. We'll see.
Done.
Love.
Done. I'm speaking for Shane now. Done.
Let's go. Done. Shane Burgos might be on. Much love to everybody tuning in, guys. Again, smash the like, subscribe if you're new, turn the post notifications on, go subscribe to Mike's channel. Check out his interviews. He's one of the funniest guys in the game. He brings the intensity. He's one of my favorite people to talk to in fighting. Thank you so much for being here, brother. Thank everybody for tuning in. That is it for the Moneyline UFC Vegas 43's full card breakdown. We will see you all in the next video. Peace, guys.